So this, I think, is a very good question. Like, how do you fix generational curses or generational problems? If you have abusive parents that are still abusive, especially as adults, under no circumstance do I think you should surround yourself or be in the space of anybody that is abusing you. I don't care who it is, grandma, dad, mom. If they're abusing you, get the fuck up out of there. However, when we're talking about breaking generational curses, this is my belief: is that like you definitely have to address things. So if it is a safe enough space to address it, definitely address it. Because the thing about our boundaries is we're the only ones responsible for passing them on, for vocalizing them. Um, we can't just be like, people disrespect my boundaries. Half the time, people don't know what our boundaries are, and especially when it's parent child, we grow up and then we're just like, I'm not that person anymore. You have to let it be known. You have to stand on them. But like I said, if they are abusive and things like that, get the fuck up out of there. But remember that if you want to be the one chosen to break the generational curse, you are going to have to be in uncomfortable situations. You are going to have to be in places where you rather not fucking be. And so like I would suggest that for one, you decide how important it is for you to break the curse. And I would suggest that you understand that there's a difference between like unhealthy generational patterns versus generational curses. A lot of things that people say that they're breaking generational curses really just be unhealthy patterns. And you can change a pattern easily by adding or subtracting, right? If I'm drawing something like this and then it curves and then go like that, that's a pattern. Now, if I want to change that pattern, I go up, I go down, I go straight, I go up. You know what I mean? Or I take something away and add something else. Patterns can be changed quite easily. So if your parent whoops you, you can stop whooping your child. That is an unhealthy pattern. Now, if you want to go into what that curse of that looks like, the curse of that, which is what a lot of people don't want to acknowledge, the curse of that is that America taught us violence, right? So we don't want to hold them accountable for what they taught us. So there's a book called postpartum. I'm a doula, don't mind me. Post traumatic slave syndrome. And so in there they talk about how we hold certain things from our ancestors, what they went through with slavery, through in our blood, like in our DNA, in our core. Nobody has to teach us these things. They just are who we are. However, no one ever wants to acknowledge that if there is a post traumatic slave syndrome, I bet you there is a post slave owner syndrome, right? So why don't we ever acknowledge that, like, the things that we're going through is a product of the curses that were put on us from slavery and how they play into our everyday now, like in society now. For instance, somebody had put on my comments that like we have to address the fact that systemic racism and oppression play into our generational curses. We're always So my middle part of my video cut out, and I feel like it was the deepest part of the entire fucking video. And that's a proof that systemic racism is holding us down, okay? Because I was cutting into their ass and how they play the biggest role in our what they should call generational curses, and our generational problems in the first place. And how they got us at war with our own selves, which is our parents. We are But yeah, this is what I'll say. I'll say, like, my phone is literally glitching now, right? That's what I believe to be, when you're talking about curses, the shit is a little heavier than just personal feelings. When the energy around starts fucking up, that's when you know you cracking something, you cracking a code. Cause like, I'm gonna go to the barbecue. I'm gonna address the pedophile in the room, and I'm gonna address the family who letting the motherfucker be around. That's why I don't get invited to a lot of stuff. But if you don't think you have what it takes to address these behaviors or be in uncomfortable situations or be around these things, you just might not be the person chosen to break the curse. You get what I'm saying? It's not saying that you need to stay in abusive relationships. Cut their ass off for your. But in regards to breaking the curse and being the one chosen to break the curse, if you cannot be in uncomfortable situations, it's probably not you who is going to break the curse. That's all I'm trying to say. If you can't go to the function, if you can't go to the barbecue and say, hey, this is today. Y'all stop this shit today. This is not healthy. Then it's probably not you. If you can't be, if you can't take the fight head on. If you need to cut off people for your health, that is fine. But you just probably are not the person to design to break the curse. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's no shame. There's nothing wrong with having to cut people off. It's just understand that if that's something you have to do, then that's probably not your fight. That's all. And I don't think that's a bad thing. If we're talking about generational curses, you gotta fight that shit head on. That's really all I think that can happen. If we're talking about just in general, cut their ass off. You ain't got a reason to keep ties with them anyway. Cut them off, move on. I don't know. But when we talk about fixing bloodlines and really fixing the damage that they've done on us, because this shit is systemic, it's deep. You know what I mean? It goes back to Planned Parenthood. It goes back to the public assistance. Like, it goes back. It's deep. It's not just, I don't like my mommy, didn't mean it's deep. So, like, yeah, I don't know. If it's something you can't address, you might need to step back and say, not yet, not me, not yet, not now. Or sit back and wait. Because maybe you're raising the child who breaks that curse. Maybe there's a characteristic in you right now that your kid will address that teaches you how to address that issue. So maybe it is not that time yet in your bloodline for that curse to even be broken. Because maybe you are the one who raises the one who breaks the curse. That too. So yeah, I don't know. I would say definitely do what works for you. I ain't the know-all be-all, but I definitely don't believe that cutting off ever solves anything. And when we talk about breaking curses, yeah, I can't think of a situation where you cut off the villain to defeat them. So you can think about it like that too. So I don't know. I hope that helped. I hope I answered something. And I hope that we can really start breaking generational curses and fixing shit without just being like, I'm cutting everybody off. It don't solve shit. And we just gonna be 3 generations in before we realize, like, before your grandkids are not knowing you. And then you realize that all you taught your kid was how to cut people off and get in your feelings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, address that shit. Show them that you stand on business. But that, I don't know, all we got is us. And we cannot let them win. Because cutting off is a way that they operate. It is a way that they want us to operate in order to separate, divide, so that they can conquer.